What's up, everyone? We're doing a Joy-Con fix stream tonight. For anyone who wants to learn how to do it, this is the time. So I have a friend sent me 4 Joy-Cons that need replaced. All have drift. So first things first, let me get my Switch out so we can kind of test it. I haven't taken a look at these yet for the sake of brevity. This will kind of cover everything from troubleshooting all the way down to actual repair. So we're gonna break out our handy Switch, take our Joy-Cons out, and we're going to do basically a calibration test. What we're going to do is probably quit the game first that we're playing. That's always helpful. And give me 1 second. There we are. All right, so calibration and testing is pretty easy, especially if we know exactly where to go. Let's see if I can lay that flat here. Calibrate sticks. Okay, so we're going to unplug that one. Plug this one in here. So Reddit. Tilt the stick that you want to calibrate. Okay. All right, it's not showing any issues, but we're not going to take any chances here. So we're going to play around a little bit, see if it starts hanging. That's what she said. All right, not seeing anything, but we're going to open them up. We're going to replace it just in case, because sometimes with this drift, and I've even had it with my own controllers, is where it won't do it until you're in the middle of a game. So, not seeing much there. Communication with controller was interrupted. That's interesting. I've never seen that. Oh, low battery. That'll do it. All right, so we're going to hook up the other second pair and see if we get any. Do this guy here now. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's drifty. That's real drifty. Yeah, that's the it's probably about as bad as I've ever seen it. So yeah, that's pretty apparently drifty right there. Um, so we're definitely gonna take a look at that one. We're gonna do the red one anyway, just to make sure they're all compliant and get them upgraded and everything. So let me put my Switch away here. All right, so in order to get into these things, you gotta have Nintendo's tri-wing screws to get into it. I don't know if you can really see, but it's basically, instead of a Phillips head screwdriver with 4 points, it's a 3-point triangular shape. That's what gets into most Nintendo devices. So we're just gonna start disassembling. Beautifully magnetic. Okay. Worst thing I can find is when you get into a device and like the screws just aren't magnetic and they just don't want to stay put. Those are the screws that go rogue on you real quick. Okay. All right, I picked doing the right one first just because this one is a little bit more difficult. It does have a little bit more, a couple more parts in it because of the IR reader and all that jazz. Just gonna spudger open here. All right, so what you have to do when you open these up is be very careful. There is a ribbon cable that travels along this rail, and I've even seen instances where they've been basically built wrong, and the ribbon cable gets folded, pinched, and when you go to open these up, that pinch kink is just enough for it to completely fall apart in your hand. Um, so just be very careful when you open it. You just want to kind of open it like a book. You want to shimmy it out of that rail very slightly. There we go. See, there's that sharp kink right there. That can go real quick. So the first thing we want to do is definitely disassemble that off that rail, because that's bad news bears there. Okay. Just gonna pull it apart just a little bit. All right. So let's get that battery out. This is just in here with a little bit of adhesive. It'd be easier to start it right in this corner here. Make sure my head's not in the camera blocking the view. These will put up a fight. There's a nice little entry point. There we go. And you just have to be really careful when you pry that out because of that right there. Now this power cable just kind of lifts up. It's kind of gets hinged in there. I like to fight a little bit. That's all right. Sometimes it's about finding that sweet spot. There we go. So a gentle tug will sometimes do it. So that should absolutely power down the Joy-Con then. So for the rest of this surgery, you're going to need a Phillips head to get in there, probably about the same size as that tri-wing. Oops. Just gently unscrew them out. And then when this gets out, we'll just build ourselves a little map to get back into it. Okay. All right, there should be one hiding here. Yep, right under the trigger. All right, so we're gonna lift this gently out. It's gonna swivel a little bit. Take that analog stick out a while. A while. Wireless assembly out too. There, that's a little bit better. So it's gonna open that way. All right, so what you see right here, this metal part, the shielding here, is that's the bottom of the Joy-Con. So what we're gonna do is try to get into that, pull that out. We're gonna pop the new one back in. Okay, so need a pair of tweezers. We're just gonna gently. I don't like those. Those are too big. Go in here, and then it's very hard to see. There's a clasp right there that we need to pop open and pull that ribbon cable out. That's gonna let us pull the trigger out of the assembly here. So it's very, very delicate. And I've had these go loose on me, and they're such a pain in the ass to get back in that hinge. I just pull it out gently like that. Easy peasy. So you'll see this is the actual ribbon connection to the Joy-Con. So we're going to get into working on that here in a second too. We're going to have to disconnect this ribbon cable here. That's the part that goes to the rail, outside rail that there. So gently pull that hinge up. It's okay to be patient with this. It's not going anywhere. Got loose enough. Nope. All right, there, flipped. So gently pull it out. There we go. We're going to repeat that same process. This is going to lift up from this side, I believe. Oop. Yep. And oop. So gently tug her out. There it is. Okay. All right. So we got the back off, the whole rail components off. And now here's that. Whoop. Let me see if I can see that little kink right here. That's what'll get you in trouble. Unscrew this jazz. Remember that these go to that. Okay, and just same procedure with this ribbon cable here. Put this guy up, just like that. And we're just going to gently but sternly pull it out. All right, and then there is there's a membrane here that's kind of adhered to the inside of the Joy-Con. We're just going to gently pull that out. If it doesn't give you any give, you want to hit that with like maybe like a heat gun or a like a hair dryer, just to soften up that adhesive and get it out, because you don't want that to tear. It's not like functionally important to the nth degree, but at the same time, you want to keep things intact as much as possible, obviously. So, feel it pop. There we go. Okay. So, that is what we're replacing here. Whoa. That little guy. So, inside this housing here are the potentiometers that run on the X and Y axis. I couldn't tell you which way it is from this angle, but these potentiometers will wear out, and then with pushing down, this is very hard to do on camera, they become misaligned. So what you want to do is obviously replace these because they've worn out. What I've seen people do too is they'll put paper on the back of these to kind of reinforce and push outward pressure up towards the Joy-Con. Just to keep the things in line and everything. So what we're going to do is also do that before we close these up, just to kind of give ourselves a little bit of a backbone to rely on here. So we're going to get rid of the old one, set that one to the side. I'm just going to find our new one. So I get these from iFixit. It's not a sponsorship whatsoever. I just like their stuff. They're always been high quality, even when I was in device repair working for a company. We always relied on them for very high quality parts. Um, and it's, these are all backed by warranties and stuff, so it's a lot better, a lot less riskier than getting something sketchy on Amazon for much cheaper. But you're always taking a gamble with Amazon anymore, since they aren't really interested in selling quality parts or quality stuff in general on that website anymore. So why take a risk with something you're putting your name on? That's what I say. All right, so to put this membrane back. Okay. So now we're just going to go reverse order here. We're going to nest this guy back in. What we're going to do too, I forgot, just talking about it, is to pick a piece of paper, something like a cardstock like this, and we're going to mount it on the back here. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be maybe a hair smaller than the footprint of the Joy-Con itself. So we're just going to mount that to the back here. That's again just to get some outward pressure pushing back up on the Joy-Con, so that if it you have like a space for Joy-Con drift to come back, this pressure will kind of reinforce it so it does not. Um, that's kind of been the inside thing right now to fix these. So we're just gonna take a little small piece of tape, very very small. Okay, just gonna put it in there like that. Perfect. Okay. So now basically we're back to reassembling. So make sure that those ribbon cables go in there nice and snug. We're gonna put those screws back in too. One more thing that's not gonna dance on me when I'm trying to get that ribbon cable back in. Okay. Keep the wireless transmitter there. All right, now we're cooking. So try and feed that in. And we're gonna latch it again. Next, I'm going to do a quick sample pull to make sure it's in there snug. It's not. Okay. Kind of what I figured. This ribbon cable does nest weird. It's not going to nest flush. Um, why they designed it like that, I'll never know. All right, that's in there. Okay. I don't know why this guide I have here is telling me to do a full teardown of it, but okay. All right, so we have our top trigger, bumper. Drop that back in. That just kind of lays in there lazily like that. Test that for the click feedback, make sure that feels natural. Of course it does. Whoops. Make sure it doesn't try and escape. What's up, Moosh? All right, so test feels good. Okay. We're going to start reassembling this jazz here. So that wireless assembly is going to stick out for just a little bit more. What we want to do, this is kind of probably the shittier part, is get this ribbon cable back in here. So this should already be delatched. And it's usually easier to go in like a 90-degree angle with this, but not always. How are you doing tonight, Moosh? Are you self-taught? Yes, I am. Hamburgers. This is probably the hardest part, but not the end of the world. Oops. The latch. No, it's very difficult to see on camera. It's very difficult for me to even see, so. Okay. All right, so the 3 screws, we're gonna put that battery thing back on here. Battery chassis, I guess that's better than saying thing. We're still with our Phillips head screwdriver. Did we forget something? We sure did. We sure fucking did. Just half the controller. No big deal. All right, so we're going to lift this back up. We're going to open it like a book. Okay. So now we got to get this. This is the rail part. This is the part that's very, very dangerous to work with because of this little crimp here. That can easily just fall apart on its own. So that is crucial to be very careful with. The other one, not so much, but that one in particular is a bitch. So we're going to do that one. We're going to do that one last. Just make sure everything else is secured in. We're not using that as a point of swiveling, turning, and things. But you can get these ribbon cables pretty cheap. These I can get on Amazon. Those are not an issue of quality because the way that they're made, it's not hard to. It's easy to make these. It's nothing like crazy in there. But the Joy-Cons themselves, I definitely recommend getting on iFixit just for the quality issues that you might run into on Amazon. Very, very small plastic hinge there. Imagine getting lahied when you're in completely focused. So glad you turned off sound alerts. I didn't realize I did, but it's probably good I did. Um, that's all right though. That would make for peak content though, wouldn't it? Okay. Get that guy there. We're gonna get that guy back. Now the question is, should I put the battery back now while I have this open? I think I should. This one's weird. It doesn't slide in, it just presses right down. And that can be difficult too, but we're just going to try doing that with a spudger. Try it from this angle too. Perfect. We're not out of the woods yet. We still got to put it back together and troubleshoot it. Now there's some double-sided tape in there. I don't think that these are going to need to be replaced because that sits put pretty solidly. So this part triggers put back in there too. Feels good. Put the wireless assembly back. That's going to go between the battery here. Okay. Just like that. Test fit it. Okay. All right, let's get those screws back in now. We can start buttoning it back up. You don't want to go crazy on the turns because remember this metal biting into plastic, so just give it a nice soft quarter turn. It's probably about all you need. There we go. You'll feel it just kind of bite, and you're good to go. Now we're gonna get that wireless assembly back in that little bracing. Whoops. Guess it helps if I do that on camera, huh? All right, it's feeling good. We'll button it up and test it here shortly. Yeah, I think this controller was dead. Oh, these aren't magnetic. Oh, so we're gonna switch over to the tri-wing. Definitely don't over tighten any of these screws. When you feel it snug up, that's good. That's it. That's all they want. Uh-oh. Huh. I don't know where it went, guys. Seeing it on the camera. That's all right. We can find that later. Not a big deal. All right, let's get the switch out and see what we can do with this. All right, not detecting. That's okay. We're going to open it back up. Anyway, whoops. Last thing is this desk collapsing on itself. I'll fix my fix Joy-Cons all day, but this desk that's been acting weird, I will fix that for months at a time. That's fine. Not powering on. Nope, it wasn't in there as snug as I thought it was. Okay, now we're good. Now we're turning on. That's what we want to see. We'll find where that screw went off. Went to off stream. If not, I've got spares for days. Okay. Now, pro tip, not to freak out when you first plug these in to calibrate them, because these Joy-Cons have never been hooked up to anything before. So they're going to freak out immediately when you put them in, 9 times out of 10. That is perfectly normal. Means that they just need an actual calibration, which is what we're doing anyway. I'm going to put my Joy-Con on. Okay. Look at that. Beautiful. We're going to calibrate it anyway. So all the way to the right. And release. All the way down. Release. With left, release. All the way to the top, release. Turn it. Rinse cycle, and we're good. Okay. Let's see if we can update it. If there's any firmware updates, sometimes that helps too. And it looks like there was a firmware update for it. I don't know how long these have been off their switch and collecting dust, so we're to make sure that's a thing. Okay. One down. Now we're going to do the left one. So that's a good sign. We got one down. 3 more to go. Whoa. Yes, low battery. We're going to charge you. That's all right. All right, so we're going to take a look at this guy quick. We already know this one's in pretty bad shape. So this is the one earlier that was giving us really bad drift. And there it goes. The left and right doesn't seem so bad, but look at that. That's real bad. This is the one that was going up on its own like this earlier. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that at all. So, okay. So just like the old one, just symmetrical. I think it's the left ones that are a little bit easier, just because they don't have that IR sensor. We aren't doing a full teardown anyway, so I don't know if it's going to make a huge difference. This is a lot better than the last repair stream I did, because we got the new camera going. It actually focuses on stuff, and I see it like kind of trying to autofocus too, which it's okay. It's certainly better than the the Game Boy Color mod we did with the backlit screen. It's all about finding a sweet spot, like usual. Right there is usually a good place to get it started. Do have a metal spudger if we need it. I'd rather not use that because this is soft plastic. And that will scratch. All right. Again, we're just going to carefully open this like a book. Like a book. And remember for the last time, battery sweet spot is right now. Pop it out of that double-sided tape it's sitting on. Now, if you're careful, you can pull up with the spudger at the same time. Battery comes right out and releases. That's what we want. Okay. Now this one is a hair different. And we're going to be working with Phillips head for the rest of this. So we're going to take this tri-wing head out, put this Phillips screw back in. All right, we're going to take this guy out. This one, and right down near the vibration motor, this guy right here. And open it like a book again. Now this one, it would be really cool if I didn't have to take out a bunch of ribbon cables. I don't think we have to take out as many as we did the last one, but we'll take precautions as we need. We're going to take that guy out. And when you order the Joy-Con parts, they are ambidextrous, I guess, for the lack of better terms. So one Joy-Con will work in either remote. It doesn't matter which one you put it in. All right, so I think I can maneuver around that ribbon cable. We don't need to take that out. Unless you're following a guide, specifically and it's your first time, then follow the instructions on the guide. I have found every once in a while some repair guides will miss a finer detail, or they might just be inherently incorrect. So if it's your first time, follow it to the best T. But at the end of the day, you're going to gain your own experience, and you're going to find out your best way forward with some repairs. It's just how it is. Let's see if I can get into here. Yeah. That guy should just fly right out. That's the old one. Right here. Sometimes you'll see some like depressions on here from people pressing hard. I'm not seeing that on this one. That's what she said. Indeed. All right, so we're going to set that one aside. We know that one's bad. It's weird because iFixit sent me one bag that was like vacuum sealed, but the rest of these are Ziploc. Which I like because I can reuse these then. Anti-static bags. Hell yeah. You can never have enough. Now again, we're going to take a piece of cardstock and we're going to cut it down to size. so that we have that little bit there to keep pressure on this, so that if the potentiometer becomes misaligned, it can't because the paper's there, basically. So that's what we're aiming for here. Okay, so just as long as it's a little bit smaller than the footprint of the Joy-Con, we're just going to tape it on there. And again, that's just to reinforce. It's going to put pressure upwards against that potentiometer, um, and that'll help prevent any Joy-Con drift from ever coming back. Um, Typically, the iFixit one Joy-Cons don't have that issue return, but who wants to open a Joy-Con twice and send it across the United States to get it fixed? I know I wouldn't. Little bit of tape there. I don't have my Captom tape readily available, but Scotch will get the job done here. This isn't really a Captom tape job. We're not worrying about shorting anything out. Make sure that's pressed on there good. All right. Gonna feed that Joy-Con back through. What are the chances I can get it back under that ribbon cable without having to disconnect it? Probably pretty damn slim. Yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. Just gonna screw that back in. Just soft turn. Okay. Next screw. Soft turn. Okay. So we got two ribbon cables we're going to put back. This little guy back here. That should kind of close in on itself just like that. Oh. Okay. Feed it underneath this ribbon cable. Just like that. Just remember the Joy-Con ribbon cables, for some reason, I don't know why they designed them like that, they don't sit flush. So if you got a little bit of extra slack, that's okay. All right, so this guy, I think we can put the battery back in. Oh, let's try. Okay. Little bumper trigger here. Get that guy back in there. Snug. Not trying to turn too hard on those screws, just enough that they stop. You feel them snug up? That's good. That's all you need. Okay. Obviously, you can see the left one is a lot easier to get in and out of. Just the way that they're designed, because the other one has the IR sensor and a couple other components in it that the left one doesn't have. So you can see, like, as soon as you open up, you can see the schematics a little different. All right, trialing time. Again, no need to over tighten these screws. Once you feel them bite, it's fine. And when you tighten them up, you'll feel the controller kind of squeeze together. Then goes back into place. It's what we want. Very disappointed that these outside screws are not magnetic. Okay. Feeling good? Let's get the switch out again. Cool. Okay, as you can see, it is already behaving pretty well. None drift. That's exactly what we want. Okay. Let's calibrate just in case. And let's try to update it. Yeah, it looks like there was a little firmware patch for it. Okay. Set one down. Feel the vibration controls. Everything feels good. Just the batteries are low. That's all right. they're done. We'll set those to the side. And we have some old gray boys. See what these guys are doing. The late detection. It was very late detection. Oh, got to drift a little bit there. So I'm going to do it now, but I did catch it doing it for a split second. Okay. Let's try the right one. And again, this is just a general thumb of electronics. Nothing cooperates when you need to test it. So we're certainly just going to take the owner's word for it and say that they were having drift issues. I did get the left one to left one to replicate it. This one, not so much, but I've had my drift issues do this where it'll work for a day and then it'll come right back. Okay. All right. So let's start with the hard one first, and then we'll knock out the left Joy-Con last. I'd love to put some music on or something, but I'm using this as kind of like B-roll for TikTok stuff. So I don't know if I need to. I don't know if I'm going to use audio on this or not. Let's better be safe than sorry. Your daughter already broke yours. It doesn't click in the tablet screen part anymore. Oh no! Honestly, that's more common than not. What happens is, and I'm not going to do it to my own. People will take them and put them on the wrong side of the rails, and then to get them back out, you have to force them out, and then that's it. People can listen to their own music. You're not wrong. So what happens is, once they get that in there and you have to force them back out, there's little tabs right here. You feel that click. I think there might be a second one on the other side. It's just that tab. That tab will break, and that's what happens. That won't lock back in anymore. It happens more often than not. There are fixes for it, but I don't know if there are easy fixes. But if you need me to fix it, let me know. The chunk missing, yeah, that happens. It happens a lot. I did it to my own Switch when I first got it, and I wasn't paying attention. I felt like an idiot. So don't get mad at your daughter. Even adults do it. Even experienced tech repair adults do it. So I think Nintendo had to actually issue a PSA when they first came out with these Joy Cons a couple months after the Switch came out, and we're like, hey, don't do this because bad news bears. Can't have nice things. I hear you. Trust me. I have a 9-year-old, and I have mystery chunks out of my old Switch missing, and it's all mystery. Of course, no one knows how it happened. That's just because that's just part of being a kid. cross-moginator wire here all tangled here. That's okay. We guys just pull that back. The old vibration motor. So, battery's out. Now this one I do see some depression on the Joy-Con, back of the Joy-Con already. And that's common with the way these are designed, and there's really nothing around that. No way around that. Even Xbox and PlayStation controllers, if you have the ability to push down on the Joy-Con, it's just going to happen. It's just they can't make these parts any. They're so small that they can't do anything else to really reinforce them. It's just the nature of the beast at this point, unfortunately. And at the end of the day, you just got to take better care of your stuff or learn how to fix it, like me. And that's why we're doing this stream, so you can learn how to do it yourself. All right, so take the wireless assembly out. We're going to open this like a book, like you do. Right, I'm going to try to do this without taking that ribbon cable out there, because I don't like that ribbon cable. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to do it without taking any of them out. Except for the Joy-Con part, of course. So, I wasn't even paying attention. I got those last screws out. We can. Nice thing is, mine blames the cat for everything. It's clearly not the cat. You can see my depression too. Gotcha. All right. So we're going to pop this ribbon cable out. Boy, a good pull. There is a membrane around that. Just be careful not to break it when you pull it out. They do break. It's not the end of the world. There we go. All right, Joy-Con out. And you can see this is the one with that depression on it. You can kind of see it right in the middle there. Compared to this one, it doesn't really have it. You can see there's kind of like a bump in the middle there on that H pattern. That one is, this one here is much more severe. Yeah, I had the same thing on mine too. It's just part of the wear and tear. Okay, Joy-Con. I was looking at that one out too. See, that weird. I got two that are vacuum sealed, and I got two in a Ziploc bag. Like that's it's just such a weird thing. I got like the transition of like the lots. I guess I don't know. It's weird. So old fashioned, yeehaw. Okay, same thing with this jazz. We're just gonna cut a little part of this cardstock out. The old test fit. Okay, a little bit smaller. Okay. And I'll show you. I already have that one taped up, but I'll see if I can show it on another one. But if you look at the iFixit, whoa, there we go. Whoa, the iFixit has slightly different design, and I don't know if that's just by choice or if they have to change it, or if that's like a design, if it's deliberately designed like that to reinforce it. I'm not really too sure, but I mean, for all I know, it could be just a trademark issue. So put this one back until we're ready for it. Okay. Okay, slot that back guy in there. Now we'll screw it in. Ah, it's never good at loading screws on the magnetic screwdrivers with one finger. Maybe I'll practice it sometime. Okay. Whoops. Okay. Cable back in there. Ooh, getting a little rowdy on me. Oh, that's all right. Snuck right in there. Beautiful. I don't trust it. Okay. How the fuck? Oh, there we go. Okay. Oof. Wait a minute. None of this makes any sense. Once these springs come off, man, they're just a real treat. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're gonna... Boy. Try and sneak that wire behind the vibration wire. It's just like filament magnetic wire too. It's a really thin stuff. Keep hitting my headphones on the microphone. I'm sure it's much louder for me than it is for you guys, but if it is loud, I apologize. Okay. Actually glad that this connector pushes just down into that slot. Because feeding that in as a ribbon cable would be a whole bitch. And there's probably a reason they did that, because they themselves probably couldn't do it with a ribbon cable in the manufacturing process. So all right, we see the lights powering on. That's a good sign. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot the goddamn screws. So we gotta go back in there real quick. Honestly, at the end of the day, it probably doesn't really need those screws, but um, they're there for a reason. So we're not gonna gamble on that, of course, and they're not mine to gamble on. So if it was my own set, I'd probably be like, fuck it. Okay. Controller's like, hook me up to something, dude. Okay. I already hear the switch like, I'm awake. Okay. Cool. I almost did the thing. Oop. Let's update this one. It's gonna check that one. What about the other? Okay. Let's see, this one is reading a little off. That's okay, because again, these have not been actually hooked to a controller before, so they might need calibrated out of the box, and that's perfectly normal. And the rinse cycle. All right. Is a butte. Do I not have this? There. Okay. Got two lights on it. Yeah, we're cooking now. So that one's down. Oh, communication was interrupted. I still want to try and update this controller. I don't know why it's not updating unless it's already gotten a update before it came. Let's try with these two on. Heh. Let's try this. Console battery low. Let's try and restart. There we go. Okay, that always helps too. Now, just one left. Set this such aside for now. So this guy, this one's done, and we just have the left one now. And if, I can't see if I'm getting any follows because I just don't have the stream set up for alerts. But if anyone is following, I do appreciate it. Always means a lot. I'm always very humbled by people following. And if you check out my About Me section, it's probably missing some content right now, but you see that it's not always fixing stuff. We're always also doing, we also play some games here too. More or less, we're rarely fixing things. This is just one of those instances where I can do it, so why not stream it? Why not share some knowledge on how to do this? There's the click. Okay. Now, the left one being a little bit easier. Let's see if we can just get in and out of this one pretty quickly. So, nice cat hair. That's always good. I don't think that's OEM cat hair. Ooh, this one's been in before. Get that tri-wing out of there. Get the Phillips head on. Okay, Joy-Con. Now this one, although it's from the same Joy-Con set, does not have like that huge depression in the middle there. It's just sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. All depends on what the person's playing, how hard they're hitting the controller, and all that jazz. So. At this point, we can just feed this guy through. All right. You're out. New Joy-Con. Good to go there. Put the controller back in there. Get in there and behave. Really? This is going to be the speed bump? The stupid trigger? Okay. All right. Well, let's take that out until it's set. Oh, Okay, let's not forget the card paper that we're going to cut. Right there. Okay. Get a Joy-Con screw. Sure did. Home. Go to your home. There we go. Close it up. It'll let you see it if it'll focus on it that hard. These little plastic guys here flip up like a hinge, and then the ribbon cable goes in there, and then that hinge comes back down, lays flat, and that pinches the ribbon cables in. So it's pretty intricate stuff. It can be very easily damaged, so that's why you always have to be careful. If we get that battery in there, or we get that brace back in. Okay. Set the battery there for now. Sitting. Oh, that goddamn trigger again. Oh my god. This rib cable doesn't cooperate. Sometimes it be like this. It's supposed to be the easy side. Okay. The cable doesn't want to stay put. That's okay. Willing to bet that getting this brace in will help. In. Okay. Powered on. That's what we want to see. Again, there is absolutely no need to over tighten these screws. Once you feel them snug up, that's enough. Okay. Oh, my foot's asleep. See what we got here, kids. I'll put the gray pair together. Ugh. So I stretch my back out here a little bit. All right, looking pretty good already. Rinse cycle. There we go. All right. Controllers are up to date. That is exactly what we want to see. All right. So we got 4 Joy-Cons done in just under an hour and a half. I would say that is not too shabby for being a little out of practice on the first one, and then that's it. So we got 4 Joy-Cons done. All the Joy-Con drift has been eliminated in all of them, so that is all set. I don't think I have much else here tonight. I'm going to try and come back tomorrow. We do have dramatic pause, some PS5 controllers that also have drift in them. So we're going to take a look at those and see if we can't get them taken care of too. These will actually require some soldering, so we'll definitely take a look at that tomorrow, assuming I have time, of course. So, well, that's all I have for tonight's stream. I do appreciate everyone for coming out and taking a look, and if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask away. Whoops. Sorry, my keyboard's like across the room. I don't have space for it on my desk. This is my typing desk that I'm working on now. So feel free to join the Discord if you do have any tech questions or anything like that. I can certainly try and help. Otherwise, our most of our normal nights, we're on Saturday. We play Jackbox as a community. It's a good time, and that's always open to people who want to play. And then Tuesdays is Destiny Tuesday right now, and we are gearing up for Witch Queen next Tuesday launch. So I'm very excited for that. And of course, we have our podcast on Sundays. That is the Super Scope podcast, and that is a gaming news and weekly wrap up and gaming news podcast. And then once in a while, we'll do some random streams like this where we where we fix devices or play some retro games. At some point, I will get there. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone for coming out. Thanks again. I really appreciate it. You guys have a good night. And if you see this on YouTube, I appreciate you for taking a look at it. Make sure you subscribe and follow me on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/retrogamedude. And hopefully tomorrow I can do some more joystick repair, controller repair. And then, also I'm Retro Game Dude on TikTok too. So give me a follow there. That would tremendously help. Thanks again, guys. All right. Have a good night.